Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen makes huge controversial claim about World Championship. Hamilton romped to his 5th championship in spectacular style. Only Michael Schumacher has won more world titles and Hamilton is now chasing down his record of 7. But Verstappen, often outspoken, reckons Hamilton won the title largely because of the power of his car. Speaking to Formula One, he said, "I think Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo and I could just as easily be champion with such a car. When I see onboard images, I think Mercedes has not even gone full throttle in many races." Verstappen came 4th in the drivers' standings after 2 wins and 11 podiums. He was just 2 points behind Kimi Räikkönen but a huge 159 behind Hamilton. The Dutchman was linked with a move to Mercedes in the past but opted to stick with Red Bull and reckons he can be a world champion with the team. Red Bull are changing to Honda engines next year and he hopes that could make the difference. "When I think of my own career, it is not convenient to sit next to Hamilton or Vettel right now," he said. "Although I would absolutely do it if I had no other choice." "I believe that with Red Bull I can also become champion, as long as we have the right package together." Hamilton's future remains uncertain with his contract up in 2020 but Tony Jordan reckons he will stick with the sport. "I personally think that he's one of the guys that as he gets older, he gets better," Jordan exclusively told Trending. "I just think at 35, that's still absolutely fine. You have to look at Damon Hill and Nigel Mansell, they were up into 38, 39. That's a bit past it now and even Michael Schumacher was back in at 38. I still think he will be absolutely in his prime and his quote for me was, 'I was born to race and win.'" That's what he does. No matter how much he loves his fashion and his music and all those other things, I think it would be a big chunk out of his life. So, in these 2 years if things go really well, I can see him signing for another 2 after that. Next news: Zak Brown reveals Coca-Cola deal. McLaren racing boss Zak Brown has revealed the excellent feedback he received from the team's 3-race sponsorship deal with Coca-Cola. McLaren announced in October the team would be racing with Coca-Cola branding along with 2 of their sister companies at 3 races, USA, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. Following the successful deal, the team are now in talks for a potential deal for 2019. "The Coke deal was excellent. It worked for them," said Brown to Crash. "I don't think it's probably appropriate that I share the specific results other than to say the feedback that we've had from Coca-Cola is that it worked. It's great that the McLaren brand worked for them, that the engagement with drivers worked for them, and that Formula One worked for Coca-Cola." In the past, McLaren have worked with various sponsors in the past, including Vodafone, which was a part of Lewis Hamilton's first title-winning livery. Brown commented on why the partnership was something to be proud of. "There is no better, more experienced, savvy, sophisticated sponsor probably in the world than Coca-Cola, so for them to come out of their end-of-the-year program with us seeing successes is something that we're proud of and the sport should be proud of." Next news: who had the best chassis in 2018? Christian Horner of Red Bull Racing claims his team had the best chassis in the 2018 Formula One Championship as seen in races where power was not the deciding factor. The Milton Keynes-based outfit won 4 races this season and even earned its first pole position since the start of the hybrid era. Speaking with Motorsport, Horner said, "I think RB14 has been a very strong car. I think arguably it's been the strongest chassis of the season. If you were to equalize the power between the top 3 teams, I think you'd see that RBR14 has been an extremely good race car. Look at whenever the power unit hasn't been a factor, or as predominant a factor. We won in Monaco even with an MGUK failure, we were second in Singapore, we won in Mexico again when altitude played a key role. Those races we've been particularly strong in. Obviously we tend to run lower downforce levels to try and create the same top speeds, and as soon as you try to trim wing to do that, you introduce other compromises into the handling of the car. But when we've able to run full spec, we should have had a front row lockout in Monaco, and we had one in Mexico. The team's biggest weakness was the unreliability factor of the power unit components, Horner admitted. Daniel Ricciardo, who took the pole at Mexico, retired in 8 races this season due to engine issues. I think it's been a bittersweet season in many respects, he added. The victories have been extremely sweet, winning in China, in Monaco, winning our home Grand Prix in Austria, and of course Mexico. They've been the undoubted high points. I think the low points have been the amount of times that the car hasn't made it to the finish, the amount of technical issues that we've had to endure, and having to try and counter for deficiencies in outright power. That's been the bitter part of it. Generally on a Sunday we've had a very strong race car, and the drivers, when they've been able to, have raced extremely strongly. Next news: Alonso moves closer to 2019 McLaren comeback. McLaren CEO Zak Brown has confirmed that Fernando Alonso is very open to the prospect of returning to the team in 2019 to test its car. Alonso will step away from F1 for 2019 in order to try and secure the Triple Crown by winning the Indianapolis 500 in a McLaren-backed bid. Although Alonso's departure was seen as a retirement from F1, it appears increasingly likely that the double world champion will take to the track in some capacity next year. Both 2019 drivers Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris have welcomed the prospect of Alonso providing pre-season feedback on McLaren's car as the team looks to bounce back from yet another underwhelming campaign in 2018. Although Alonso's return is yet to be confirmed, Brown suggested that a decision could be made following the Spaniard's outing at next month's 24 Hours of Daytona, where he will race for Wayne Taylor Racing. "I have spoken to Fernando about it. He is very open to it," Brown said. These F1 world champions, whether it's Michael Schumacher or Mika Häkkinen, who came close to a comeback, don't want to be too far from the F1 pit lane. There's a lot he can contribute experience-wise. Carlos and Lando are open to any ideas that will bring us experience. Fernando knows the team very well, Lando doesn't have that experience, and Carlos doesn't have that experience with us. It's something I'll be talking to him about. I'll go to Daytona for Fernando's Daytona testing and we're going to chat to him further then. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.